Hi, I'm Jen Corsi with Thrive Today, and today in our Summer Joy series, I want to talk to you about the importance of stories. Stories are a really helpful way to do a lot of things. We can tell joy stories from memories in the past, appreciation stories. These can help build our joy. These can help us remember those special moments. Stories about upsetting things can help us process them, especially as kids. If our kids are trying to process something that was upsetting, being with us and telling us the story can help them process that. Stories are great examples. We, as parents, can tell stories of times when we were in distress. We had big negative emotions and how we handled it, how we acted like the heart that Jesus gave us, or how we got back to being relational and peaceful after a big upsetting emotion. And those are examples to our kids of how they can handle these things and how they might handle it the next time that they're sad or scared or feeling hopeless or ashamed or disgusted or afraid. So stories are very helpful. When we are telling stories, we want to make sure it's a story. Ideally, if we want to use it for training and for joy, we want it to be a story that we are a part of. We want to show the authentic emotion in our face and on our face and in our voice. So if we're talking to our child about how excited we were when they hit that game-winning pitch at the baseball game, we don't want to talk about it like, yeah, I was so excited when you hit that pitch. We want our face and our voice to show our excitement. We were so excited. It was such an exciting moment. We were so proud of all the hard work that you'd done that got you to that moment. So that we want to show the emotion that we're feeling in our stories, in our voice and on our face. We want to use feeling words. So we want to identify what feeling we were feeling. We were so excited. I was feeling so much joy to watch you have that happen. Or when we're feeling sad, I was feeling really sad watching you get hurt when you got hurt. Or I was feeling really afraid when that dog came after you. We want to be able to use those feeling words. And with our kids, if they're telling us a story, especially if they're processing something upsetting from their day, they might need help figuring out what those feeling words are or drawing them out. Like, well, what do you think you were feeling then? And they may know, or we might give them some suggestions. Do you think you were feeling sad or scared? Do you think you were angry? And they might have more than one of those feelings in the moment that they're processing. We also want to use words for how it felt in our body when this was happening. So if we are talking about feeling sad, we might feel like I just was low energy and my shoulders were droopy. Or if I was afraid, I had this pit in my stomach and my body was tense. Or I was angry and my face flushed and I was red hot. I just was so upset. Or I was feeling ashamed and I just kind of felt like hiding and I just didn't want anybody to see me, and I just kind of felt like curling in a ball in my body. These are just some examples of how we might feel in our body during these emotions. Or I was feeling joyful. My smile was so big my face hurt. I was just so excited and energized about it. So again, this is where our kids, as they're telling stories, we might ask questions like, well, how did that feel in your body? Did your body feel relaxed, or did it feel tight, or was it calm and peaceful, or was it like in knots? How did it feel in your body? We might ask those kind of leading questions to help our kids process and be in touch with how their body felt in the midst of that. So stories are just a great way that we can reflect on good things. We can help our kids have an example of how to handle big emotions. We can help our kids process when things were upsetting or just big feelings from their day. We can tell stories over meals. We can tell stories at bedtime. We can tell stories in the car. It's just a great way to bring another element into our summer and build joy and build capacity for recovering the next thing something upsetting happens. So I hope this is helpful to you. You can see more examples of stories on the thrivetoday.org website under blog, under marriage and parenting. There are some example stories there. There are some tips on how to tell stories, and even in the relational tidbit section on YouTube that we did during the beginning of the coronavirus. There's some example stories as well if you need some examples of what we like to call 4+ stories or whole brain stories that use all of our brain as we're telling our story. And it just helps us process and integrate those stories and reflect on those moments. I hope this helps with your building joy with your kids this summer.